Let's go to one of my favorite tools. I think I just like all these tools actually. Let's talk about body language. How can a player change their body language to boost their mental game during the situation?
Oh, I love the body language, man. So if you think about body language, like the external reflection of what my body's doing is usually or usually a direct reflection of the internal dialogue that's going on in my head and my heart. And so for me, man, the body language changes everything. We like to talk about it as like power posing. I know Tony Robbins talks a lot about like the power pose, and some people are like, that's stupid. You stand like, oh, that's dumb. It's like, no, when I stand up and at first I'm like, this is kind of weird, like it's awkward. But then I keep power posing and I feel pretty confident. Like I feel way more confident this way than if I'm shoulders down, cocooned, head down, hands up, that mentality. So body language changes everything, man. It not only sends a signal to yourself, it sends a signal to your teammates and how you're feeling and your coaches. And so for us, I love Derek Jeter as an example. You can never tell if that dude was having a great day, having a bad day, having a good year, having a bad year. Like obviously he's had a lot of success and he's one of the best of all time. But there's a reason why in his mental game was so strong. He wasn't necessarily the most talented athlete out there, right? There's hitters that hit for way more power and better hitters, better defenders, but that dude was just a leader. And it's how he carried himself. And that's why he was so consistent. And he was the captain of the New York Yankees for so long. And so body language is important, man. I think for any athlete out there or family or teammate person listening, when I think about body language, like that is in my control all the time. And anytime I show bad body language, it lessens my confidence, it worsens my self-esteem, and you can tell that there's some doubt creeping in or negativity creeping into the mind. So for me, it's like fix your posture, fix everything else. And so if I can change my posture, the last thing I'll say on it, there's a cool study done. This guy, he worked, Dr. Christian Conte. He's a phenomenal practitioner. He's just a great dude too. And he works with a lot of the University of Pitt programs, but he also does a lot of stuff in prisons, like some pretty severe prisons. And so he was doing some work in this prison, and this guy was suicidal. He just did a lot of bad things. He was in there for life, and he can't handle the things he did. And all he said was, hey, change your posture for a week. Don't do anything else. Just change your posture. I don't care what you say to yourself, what you do. Like just change how you walk around, because he's walking around like dragging his blanket, head down, really like shoulders over, inverted. And so he said, hey, put your chest back or your chest out, your shoulders back, walk with your head up, not head down, and try this for a week. See what happens. And his symptoms of depression and wanting to hurt himself significantly decreased just simply by changing his posture for the week. And so, is it always that easy? No, you still got to be in control of it, but it's a powerful tool that can really help you stay more consistent and level headed.
And I think for some of those people that might have those concerns of like, oh, I don't want to be doing these power poses, like I don't want to look
Yeah.
silly or whatever. I think it's important to understand that you can be doing this while you're doing other things. So
Mhm.
whether it's other mental skills, like okay, while I'm breathing, while I'm doing my mental rehearsal, I'm going to have confident, positive body language at the same
Yes.
time. Or I think really important, as you walk out from the dugout to the batter's box, that is like a very vulnerable moment where everyone's watching you, like, all right, here's our next guy that we're going to be focusing on. I imagine if you can just trick yourself in this way of like, all right, I'm just going to show that I'm really confident, you're going to feel more confident in the process. So again, it's really easy to use. There's a lot of different ways you can use this body language. And I use the word trick your brain into feeling more confident, but I think it just changes this narrative in your brain. It's convincing your brain to think a different way. Although it's very minor. It's not in this, all cure all of like, okay, I'm not feeling confident. Well, now I put my shoulders back and down and I put my chin up and now I feel confident. It's not that simple, but again, it's a piece of the puzzle. It is moving your mental game in the right direction. It's
Mm.
helping boost it. It's not you're controlling for any negative body language at the same time. So really easy skill to dial in. Everybody knows how to do this. It's really easy to learn. So definitely a lot of ways that athletes listening can work that into their mental game.